All right, we are live, people. So welcome to everyone's A Pundit, episode 84. This week we switched it around, and we have myself as the host and Semps as well. He's still Semps in it, but he's just basically he's going to chip in, and then he might cut out because he's traveling back. He's a diehard fan. He's traveling back from OT at the moment. So Semps being ride or die, he didn't know what was going to happen today, but he was in the cut. He's been in the stadium, and yeah, man, we're gonna hear straight from him. But we've got a really, really good panel of hosts today, or guests today, shall I say? And I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Then I'll obviously introduce myself, and then we'll get it cracking from there. So we're gonna start with Chloe. Hey, Chloe, how you doing? And thank you for coming on.
Hey, I'm doing good, thanks.
Yeah. So obviously, Chloe is a ride or die Brighton fan. Tell us where they can find you, Chloe, and what you're up to.
Um, on Twitter, I'm British Tea Hater. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, and Instagram and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what pods are you working on at the moment, or what pods are you usually jumping on?
I just sort of
just dabble. So you're in and
yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I like doing it, but I don't like go on any regularly or anything.
Okay, no, that's cool. But Chloe's a ride or die hard Brighton fan, season ticket holder. She's always at the game, so we're gonna hear from her. She's gonna give us a great insight, and it's fantastic for us as well to get some different fan bases on. We're gonna hear from Chloe, see what she's saying about her team, her manager, and basically her perspective on all things football. So that's gonna be brilliant. And then next in the cart, we got Sai. Go ahead, Sai. Let us know who you are, what you're saying.
Yeah, big Liverpool fan. Probably Semper's best friend right now. Just on cloud nine. Like, it almost felt a bit surreal after sort of 2-3. But anyway, I won't talk about that. I'm an estate agent, Cole Harden estate agent. So if you ever need any help with selling, buying, renting, the whole lot, you can find me.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. Looking forward to this. Let's go.
We'll put the links in the description so everyone will be able to jump on that and click on Sai and find out where he is. He's not on Twitter, but you'll find him on Insta. And I'll put I'll put everything in the tickers in a minute. And obviously, Semps, go ahead, man. What's happening? What are you up to?
I'm driving back, man, from Old Trafford, live and direct on the M1 now. Yeah, it's peak. So you lot should all know me by now. This is Semps. You can catch me on here all of the time, every week. Today we're switching it up. Pat is hosting, and I'll be back next week. But yeah, man, just traveling back now.
Yeah, that's it. Ride or die, man. Straight from the cart. It doesn't get no realer than that. Obviously, Semps he's taken the L and he's going to still be on here. So we love that. We love that. Regardless of what the score is or what's going on, he's here, which is great. And we've got another great pundit hopping on as soon as he finishes on his one. We've got Douglas, who is a fantastic and huge Liverpool fan. And then obviously we also have, when Semps cuts out because he's driving and obviously things might happen, we're going to get the Sheiky Dash, who's an Arsenal fan and obviously the host of A Dash of Sports on. And last but not least, you got myself, Patrick Tyrant, the best podcaster in the UK. But as a host, I'm probably in the top 20. Semps is probably not top 2 or top 3. So just bear with me. This is not my bag, but I'm going to do my best. And yeah, let's start, man. Let us start. So let's
1 second as well, Pat. Just for everyone listening, man. My boy has lost a very close friend this weekend. It's someone who's close to Saeed as well. So just want to say R.I.P. to Gordon. It's been a tough week for Saeed. So I appreciate you jumping on, Saeed. And you know what? I guess that 5-0 win was for you today. And, blessings to you and all your people there,
appreciate
man.
It. Gordon was a big Liverpool fan
Gordon,
as well, man. Gordon was a big Liverpool fan as well. So
there you go.
As well.
So yeah,
there you go.
Rest in peace to Gordon. That one's for him. So yeah, thank you, Sai, for coming on, because obviously you're going through a tough time at the moment. To be fair, that totally skipped my mind. So yeah, well done, Semps, for shouting that out. That is fantastic. And it's a nice touch because obviously we're all rival fans and we're all passionate about our teams. But in times like this, it's brilliant that we all come together and obviously be there for one another. So that is great. But anyway, let's get it cracking because we're here to talk football. So let's do it. Match week 9 results. Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 1. That was on the Friday night. Then Chelsea with the early kickoff, they battered Norwich 7-0. Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 1, quite entertaining game. Everton 2, Watford 5. That was quite a shock to the system. Leeds and Wolves with a 1-1 score draw. Southampton and Burnley, a 2-2 score draw. And then Brighton 1, Man City 4. We'll touch on that one in a bit. And then today we had Brentford 1, Leicester 2. West Ham 1, Spurs 0. We'll definitely touch on that one. And then obviously the last one, the biggest game in the world, the most viewed game in the world, Man United 0, Liverpool 5. So let's start with that one, because that is obviously a shock. Obviously any team can get beat, but no one really expected Man United to get beat like that on the home turf. So Semps, as you were live and direct, let us know your thoughts, man.
Okay, so basically, yeah, Man United are rubbish, innit? And that's how real it's gonna get. You know, I spoke to Syed earlier on, and I was saying the reality is that anything could have happened in this game, innit? Man United could have won, we could have drawn, we could have got battered. It's one of them games where form goes out of the window. You just don't know what's gonna happen, and it just so happens that most people probably thought we'll get battered, and we did get battered. And watching it, you know, I watch every Manchester United game, and you know, anybody that's watching here knows how real I am when it comes to Manchester United. I'm not one of them deluded fans. But what you saw out there today was just a gulf in class and a difference between the two sides. When you're watching, yeah, Manchester United don't have a clue what they're doing out there. They don't have a clue. And people want to talk about this press and all of this nonsense. It is much deeper than that. Liverpool were playing rings around us. Pop, pop, pop. That first goal, when you see the way they just pop the ball around us, players out there don't have a clue what they're doing. And yeah, man, as we all know, it comes down to coaching. You know, I'm listening to some people on TalkSport on the way home, and they're talking about the players, and people are digging out Maguire, people are digging out Fred. You got some people that even want to go as far as to try and dig out Paul Pogba, even though the game was done when he came on. But let me tell you this now. It is not about the players. It's not about the players. Every single one of these players are good enough to be putting in better performances than what we're seeing at the moment. And the problem is that they don't have a clue what they're doing. Everybody's looking around. When one person goes to press, a second person may go, and then it just leaves gaps in behind. McTominay and Fred just look isolated most of the time. Maguire's looking crap. Shaw's looking crap. The only Manchester United player at the moment that's covering himself in any glory is David De Gea. And for me, I've been saying this since last season. I've been saying this from ages ago. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the man to take us to where we need to get to. He's done very good in steadying the ship, but now he's at risk of actually killing what he's built. He's built something where he's finally got us to a position where we're no longer a laughing stock. We've been getting back-to-back Champions League finishes. We've assembled a great squad, but now we are running the risk of just becoming a laughing stock, because every week, it doesn't matter who we play, whether it's Liverpool or whether it's Aston Villa, it doesn't matter who we play at the moment, we're getting battered on the field. We can play Everton, we get battered. We play Leicester, we get battered. And it may not always transpire in terms of the scoreline. Obviously today 5-0 is convincing. There's no talk about that. But we've been getting these sort of performances before. So yeah, man, it's when you're watching it in live in the stadium, you just see the gaps in all over the team. It's really it's sad to see, man. Sad to see.
Wow, that was a really descriptive, and yeah, you basically, you can't get better than that. You can't get deeper than that. Sai, I see you smiling. I see you grinning like a cat who's got the cream. So yeah, let us know your take on it as a Liverpool fan, as someone who's seen their team, basically the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs. What's your thoughts on what's going on right now?
I just think we just picked up from, you can say, 2019. Everyone sort of wrote us off last season, and it was clear to see that, the sort of injuries that we had. And yes, I hear Man City guys that come on and say, oh, everyone gets injuries and this and that. That was unprecedented last season in terms of getting our complete defensive line wiped out. And now you are seeing the real Liverpool. And even when I looked at that midfield, I wasn't necessarily convinced. Having Milner in there and Kate are, still questionable. But I think the difference was Klopp can just make an average player just be that little bit better just because he's just class. There was a golfing class today, 100%. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you can see, doesn't have a clue. Like, the players don't have a clue. There's no... Sems, you said Man United are crap. It's not Man United. There's no way I think anyone can say that squad of players is crap. If they get a good manager in there...
What I mean by that, Si, is not that the players are crap, is that we are a rubbish team. That is what I mean. So it comes down to the management and the coaching team, not the coaching staff and team. They are rubbish. And then what happens is you have this shambles on the pitch, that what we're seeing. So yeah, it's not for me, it's not the players. It's not the players. It's totally down to the manager. But yeah, I'll let you continue.
Yeah, totally.
And Sems, with you saying that, are you Ollie out? Because, obviously you didn't see, to put some context to my question, you didn't see the post-match analysis. Everyone was jumping on Neville and saying, are you Ollie out? Can you now say it? And he was like, I'll never say no to say that about a manager. And they were like, are you saying it because it's your friend? Or are you? He's like, no, I've always been consistent. I've never asked for any manager's head. But they were putting it on him and basically saying, is it time now? So with that being said, is it time now?
Yeah, well, it's been time for longest. You can't ask me that question, Pat, like I've been Ollieing. I ain't been Ollieing. You know that. The one thing with me is I've said is I don't want to be one of these fans. Like, they was talking about that there was going to be Ollie out banners in the stands today. Like, them sort of things I'm not for. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he deserves more respect than that. But yeah, I'm Ollie out, man. I've been Ollie out for the longest time. I've wanted Ollie to go for a long time. I respect what he's done. But the reality of the situation is Liverpool got Klopp, Chelsea have got Tuchel, and City have got Pep. And if we're going to really try and compete with them teams, what are we going to come up to this gunfight with Ollie? Like, come on, it don't make sense. Ollie is not of the level of these other managers, and it's showing now with what we're seeing on the pitch. I make one point before I log off, not log off, but before I stop talking, is that people want to try and talk about the players, yeah? But when a team goes through a bad form, when a team goes on a bad run, players are going to have poor games. That's what happens, and then the manager gets sacked. So if people want to hide behind the fact that they're going to try and say it's the players, then was it the players for Chelsea last season under Lampard? Because every week in and week out, you were seeing poor performances from players, and then people can then say, oh, this player isn't good enough, this player isn't playing well. No, Tuchel comes in, an elite manager, players that weren't playing then start to play, i.e. we've got players like Donny van der Beek that can't get a game. Today, Pogba has to sit on the bench instead of McTominay or Fred. He changes the system to get the best out of his players. He goes and wins the Champions League. Don't tell me it's about the players. It is not the players. The manager is the reason why you win, lose or draw, if you're successful or not. And our manager is not good enough. He's, in the words of Claude, it's time to go.
Yeah, rest in peace to Claude, one of the legends and one of the guys that, one of the first guys that was out there really putting in a shift. So, yeah, man, big up to yourself, Sense, on that one. But Chloe, did you get to watch the game today?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Proper game, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite surprising, like, watching it. I was a bit dumbstruck almost, because you don't expect a team like United to really lose like that. Like, I remember seeing Brighton lose 5-0 near the end of Houghton's reign, should we call it? And I think you can really sort of tell when the manager's probably, I don't know, I just don't think, you look at United's team, they've got players that could get in most teams in the league, but for whatever reason, it's just not clicking at the moment. There's no reason those players can't be fighting for the title. But obviously, it's the manager. It's not good enough.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
that squad is stacked. It's full of quality. Of course, any team, even your Man Cities and Chelseas, they can always upgrade in particular positions. We know that, but that team is stacked and full of quality, and they should be getting, the manager should be getting more of a tune out of those players. But all Man United fans have said this, and they've been saying it. Semps has been saying it. Obviously, Semps, one of my best friends, the guy that we do this channel together. I hear Semps week in and week out saying the same thing, so it's not new. I know when I asked that question about Ollie in, Ollie out, it was a bit tongue in cheek, but I've been hearing Semps say it from day one. Most honest United fans will say the same thing, and Semps has said it. Chloe and Sai, the guys that aren't always on the channel with us. Semps said, even though we got Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane, we're not title contenders, because Semps knows the real deal. And even Gary Neville said the same thing basically today. He's like, I see this team week in and week out, and I watch Chelsea, I watch Liverpool, I watch Man City, so I know we're far off. But a better manager would definitely get more of a tune out of these guys. So it's a sticky one because everyone still thinks that Ollie won't get sacked.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will.
I don't know,
man.
I
don't think they've got a plan B in terms of getting... I don't think he will. I generally don't think he will. I think he'll be there to the end of the season and they'll make a real decision maybe then, but I don't think he will.
No, he won't last to the end of the season. He won't last to the end of the season, but he won't get sacked tonight. He won't get sacked on Monday. He's going to be there for a while. But another thing I will say is that when you're in the stands, you won't get any negativity towards Ollie in the stands. But when you're walking down the road, you'll chat to Bear Man. People are Ollie out. The United fans are Ollie out now. They see what's what. There's United fans we was chatting to in the service station. They're like, Ollie should be the bigger man now and actually walk. That's what they're saying.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, that's not going to happen. He needs to get sacked so he can get his pay. Exactly. But they're like, he should do himself a favor because he's ruining his legacy now. He should actually walk. So, but yeah, I agree. I don't think he's going to get sacked anytime soon because this is the reason why we are where we are. Our board isn't like Chelsea's. Our board isn't like City's. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah, he's going to be here for a little while, man.
We've got Dashiki Dash in the car. I'm gonna add into the stream. Dash from a Dash of Sports.
Yo,
how you doing, bro? You all right?
Manu. It's a great weekend. I'm chilling. We played on Friday, as you know. I'm an Arsenal fan. But let me not get into that. Let me introduce myself for those that don't know me, Dashiki Dash. A host of A Dash of Sports. I've just been watching the football over the weekend. Spurs lost, Man United lost. It's a great weekend, boys and ladies. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, good, man. I'm glad you're here and full of energy. So yeah, bring that vibe.
Come on. Side though. The ones that, two teams here. Actually, 1, 2, 3 lost their games. 1, 2, we won our games. All right, put your hands up if you got 3 points today. Woo! Let's get it.
Look at the faces. Look at the faces of the others.
No, I'm still smiling, man. I'm happy to be here. I love football. As long as I can talk football with good-minded people, I'm happy, man. So obviously, Spurs let us down today. We'll get into that later. But the first thing I want to say, obviously, Dash, Chloe, Sai, will Ollie be sacked in the morning? So we've kind of already answered that. Dash, what's your thoughts on it?
Do you know what? And I've spoken to Semps in the WhatsApps, and we've had our voice notes back and forth. It all comes down to the board, man. We need to kind of start being realistic with all of this. As much as we make noise, I was in the era of when Wenger was at his last stages, and it took long for him to go. Whatever. It's only until there weren't no bums on seats, and that's when they triggered it and they got Wenger out. But the way it is now, I don't see the United board getting rid of him. I think they're gonna plow through. I think they're gonna be stubborn enough to be like, look, we're gonna give him until the end of the season, and if it doesn't work, then there's no excuses. I don't think United really want to be known as I wouldn't say flip flop, but I don't think it's in their culture to actually be just sacking managers left, right, and center. So for me personally, even with this loss, the season's still a long season. So we just got to see. But for me personally, I don't think he's going to get sacked.
And Chloe, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I can't see it anytime soon, to be honest. It would almost seem a bit reactionary. I know they've been poor for a while, but I don't know. I think he'll stay for now. I think his days are numbered, but I don't think it's going to be immediate.
Yeah, me personally, I think he's a dead man walking. And I was saying to Semps and Sai, we're in a group together, that he'll be gone tomorrow. Obviously, but I mean, it was toxic, and from what I saw, obviously I'm watching it from Sky Sports, and it looked toxic. Like at halftime, you heard the boos ring out, and then he just ran down
people
the tunnel.
walk out,
walking out.
crowds of people walking out.
They showed pictures of the 65th minute, and the streets were outside the stadium were packed. The amount of people that had left the stadium was mad. And if we beat them on Saturday, then it's going to be peak.
The only way I see if Ollie was to get sacked, it would be a player power kind of situation. If the players start making noise and like there's rumblings that they're not feeling what's going on, especially Ronaldo's there now, there's an added pressure. Obviously Ollie to come up with the goods. That's the only way I see it. But in terms of like the board coming out tomorrow just because they lost to their rivals, I don't see it, because the excuse can be made is like, look, man, Liverpool, the goal thing
lost, but it's not. It's a battering. Anyone can lose a game. We know that, but it was a humiliating battering. You know.
All right, let's check this out. Spurs battered United not too long ago. You know what I mean? Teams get battered. So it's just
now, Dash, last season.
6-1, wasn't it?
You know what I mean? United, look, Arsenal's been given the 8-2s, and it's just like our clubs, they're just not reactionary like that. You know what I mean? The Chelsea.
You know what I would say though, Dash, is you said that Man United, you know, everyone tries to say Man United are not this, you know, sacking managers club. It's all nonsense. They're forgetting the fact that we had Sir Alex Ferguson for 20 odd years. That's the reason why we ain't like him, because we didn't need to be. But what I was saying now is that I agree he's not going to be sacked in the morning, but we've got a run of games now which could literally put us in the bottom half of the table and closer to Watford than, you know what I mean? Watford were looking at relegation and all of that. We've got Spurs, we've got City. We've got some Champions League games in between there. We've got Watford away from home, and then we play Chelsea on the 28th, and then we play Arsenal on the 2nd of December. Literally, those 2 games there between Chelsea and Arsenal, if he's not already gone by then, I can't see him lasting long after that if we've had a string of losing results. He can't survive that.
But question though, is there anyone linked to the job?
Sorry, just to interject, I've got Douglas Horn backstage. I'm going to add into the stream right now. Massive Liverpool fan. Douglas, welcome. Thank you for hopping on. Let us know who you are and who you're repping and where you're from.
Yeah. Well, my name is Douglas Horn. I run the Dugout Football Channel YouTube account, and I'm a big Liverpool fan. And today has been a very good day.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Thank you for coming on, man. I see your work. You're doing great things. So it's a pleasure and an honor to have you on here. Obviously, you've got your Liverpool buddy to your right. I don't know if it's to your right. It's Michael. And you've probably not seen, but Semps is literally live in the car. He's on the way home from Old Trafford, so he was there and felt it. So yeah. Before we change subjects, Douglas, just want to ask you, what's your thoughts on today's game?
I think that's the worst I've ever seen Manchester United play. And I can't remember going to Old Trafford where I've actually seen Liverpool dominate from start to finish. I think there was one game, I think the 2013-2014 game when we won 3-0. That was under Rodgers, and obviously United were managed under by David Moyes. I can't remember a game where we've actually gone there and played them off the park. I thought it was absolutely terrific. But people can say how poor Manchester United were. Liverpool never even got out of third gear really today, and Mohamed Salah now the first opposition player in Premier League history to score a hat-trick at Old Trafford. It just doesn't get any better than that.
Hey, love it, love it, love it. Coming with facts and just coming with that realness. So it's that's a brilliant way to interject into the next question or the next topic, which is I'm going to go for: is Mo Salah the best player in world football at the moment? Not in the Premier League, in world football. Chloe, what's your thoughts on that one?
I think he's brilliant at the moment, and he's certainly in form. But one thing which always annoys me a little bit is the best player is always an attacker. You never talk about defenders or goalkeepers sort of being one of the best in the world. He's scoring goals, he's creating goals, he's one of the best attacking players in the world at the moment, if not the best. But I can't compare him with players of other positions.
That's a good shout, and that's a very balanced and fair opinion. So who else would you put in there then? If you're talking about other positions and the creme de la creme, the top players, who for you goes in there?
I want to say a Brighton player, but that would just be me being biased.
No, go on. Come on, talk your talk.
I think I suddenly can't remember any players in the world.
No, that's all right. Well, we'll come back.
One name I would probably say is Lewandowski.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well.
Oh.
For me, Lewandowski, man, just top goal scorer. But this is the argument: is that do other leagues don't get that kind of notoriety? Because obviously it's the Prem de la Prem, innit? So automatically we would put a Premier League player in the forefront of like, oh, they're the best in the world and this and that. And you can see the way the commentators, the pundits, they're really pushing for a player from the Premier League to be the best in the world. But you've got your Lewandowskis, you've got, your Benzemas and stuff like that, obviously equally doing, top things and big things as well. And in the shout for being the top player in the world. So for me, it's just like, I get it, I see it, but I don't buy the ramming it down our throats, man. Like every single interview, you're asking Henderson, you're asking Klopp, like, is he the best in the world? He's like, yeah, we get it. Let him play, let him do his thing, and then we'll just see at the end of the season, man.
But is he the best in the world?
No, I'll go with Lewandowski.
Mo right now.
I'll go with Lewandowski for me.
Douglas, what's your thoughts? Would you say he is?
I mean, obviously, we would be biased, and obviously, we will always say yes. I think he is definitely up there. I think he overtook Didier Drogba's goal scoring record in the Premier League today. Yeah. So, is that like having now the highest African scoring player in Premier League history? I mean, the numbers are just sensational. I think this has been his best season by a long way.
Mate, he's already on 10 goals. He's already on, and we've only played 9 games. He's already on 10 goals, which is mental. 10 goals.
I mean, imagine what kind of goals, what number of goals he could be on when he goes to the African Cup of Nations. It could easily be 15. It could be 18. He's actually on course to break his own record. His own record was 32, and I think 17-18. He's already on course to potentially break that. Obviously, staying fit and all that. Is he the best in the world? I mean, I obviously put Lewandowski. I think you have to say Lewandowski does it week in, week out for Bayern Munich. You obviously have to put Messi up there because obviously he's still a very, very good player. You have to say it as well. It's really hard to argue, but I think I'd probably say at this moment Lewandowski's probably. I would say Lewandowski was robbed of the Ballon d'Or last season, and I think he's going to get it this season.
Well, they're saying now that at this year's Ballon d'Or, they're also do last year's one, which made no sense. They should have just done it virtually and remote like they do every year, because it doesn't make sense. So I think that's how they're going to try and caveat Lewandowski being snubbed last year, because he would have won it. He would have walked it last year, but they didn't. They just cancelled it. So a bit of a strange one. But I would say, for my own opinion, I would put Salah in that conversation. Not in the conversation. I would say he is. Salah's scoring all types of goals, and he's doing it against big teams. Man United are a big team. They're a good team. Look what he did to Man City as well. So the quality of the goals is sensational, but they're against quality opposition as well. It's not just against your Watfords or your Burnleys. These are big games, big moments, and he's delivering. So for me right now,
but once again, I just bring that argument to the fact that, as you said, there are big teams in the Premier League. There are big oppositions. The competition is high, but then other players from other leagues, because of their league, the Bundesliga. A lot of times it's named as it's known as the Farmers League. You get the French league as Farmers League or whatever. Spanish league is not as great as it once was. The Italian league is not. So pretty much we're just dealing with the fact that if you play in the Premier League, it's the most likelihood that you are going to be known as one of the best players in the world. So it's just a fine balance.
I don't think you can take that away. I think that has to be justification then. Like playing in the hardest league. All right, you say that Mo Salah's doing this numbers in the league. Look what he did it against Atletico. Atletico is probably the meanest defense. Probably world football.
But what I'm saying, like someone like Lewandowski that has been consistently at this.
Yeah, we're talking about right now. If we're talking about who's the best player on the planet now, my thoughts will be Mo Salah. But if you're talking about over the year or 2 years, 100%.
But
brilliant.
If we're doing it, obviously, if it is a Lewandowski, Mo Salah, are we basing it on goals? Are we basing it as the player in general? Like, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things to look at. So I just don't think it's cut and dry, because if someone like Lewandowski that's just getting the goals and he does what he does, then equally he can be rated.
It will never be cut and dry, because everyone looks at things differently, and there's so many ways to measure a player. But if you're looking at what Salah's doing in a great team against great teams,
no doubt.
Salah has been consistent as well. We can't just say Lewandowski's been consistent. So is Salah. So it's a great debate, and obviously we could go on about it forever. But I'm going to swiftly change topics because there's so much to talk about. And as we've got Chloe on, a brilliant Brighton fan, we're going to get her insight first on this one. Graham Potter. He's a manager that we've all been talking about. A lot of people are watching him now more with a keener eye. Obviously, Brighton are doing fantastic things this season. For me, I thought he was the real deal a long time ago. And you'll see on streams when I was calling for Potter to be Tottenham's manager, and I got laughed at. But now people are seeing what I saw back then. So what I'm going to ask is, Graham Potter, is it English tax, or is he the next big thing? Chloe, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you don't want him. We just leave him. He's our manager. He's just good for little old Brighton. He wouldn't be any good for you guys. No, seriously, he is a very good manager, definitely. Like, the way he's got our players playing, and like Rob Sanchez in goal, he was playing, I can't remember which team it was, but in the lower leagues, came in, Potter trusted him over Matt Ryan, and he's just excelled. And I think a lot of our players are playing some of their best football under him, and he just seems to have a real understanding of the game. And yeah, I think he's a very good manager, but I don't want to lose him. I want him to be our manager for as long as possible, because he's taken us to another level this season. I think even last season we were good, but we were creating chances, but we weren't being clinical enough, and everyone said that. And still sometimes I question his decisions, like playing the Lana and Gross in midfield. It's a bit questionable, because everyone seems to have realised that doesn't really work, but he still keeps doing it. But I trust him. And also some of the substitutions he makes, I'm like, why is he bringing him on? Like against City, I was a bit confused as to why he was bringing Wepo on. But he was so good when he came on, and he won us the penalty. And yeah, he knows the game better than I do. So obviously, yeah, I think he is a very good manager, and I don't think it's English tax. I think he's just genuinely good.
No, because Semps and I had a conversation about Potter, and we said, like, credit to him. He played his game, didn't change it up, considering that they were playing Man City. He still tried to go toe to toe. And in that second half, for me, you were the better team. You were just unlucky. You got caught out. You got the penalty, yes, but then you got caught out and sucker punched. Obviously, you were already down 3-1. It became 4-1. But yeah, I think he's a brilliant manager. I really do. And I think he is the next big thing. I think he's already there, to be fair. Brighton are 5th at the moment. And and like you say, with all due respect, with lesser players, but he's kind of got that Pochettino, young Poch kind of ilk to him, where he's getting the best out of players because he coaches them. He's not just a manager; he's actually a coach, and he's bringing players through. And you'll probably create a few stars in that team now that will. I hate to say it to you, Chloe, but they'll probably go on to bigger teams and become bigger players.
I like that Lamptey. I like that Lamptey boy.
Oh, mate, did you see what he did? So I can't remember. 2 players and then
gave them the chicken noodle soup, boy. Sweet.
He's not been playing though, has he?
He's been injured. He's been injured.
Oh, okay.
He's quite injury prone. I got a quick question, and I forgive me for answering this question, Chloe. But obviously, losing such a talent like Basuma, and obviously all the stuff that he's going through, won't get into it. Like, how do you think Graham Potter and Brighton are like dealing with it at the moment?
I think we've got talent enough in the midfield to compensate for that. I think Mwepu, he was a revelation when he came on because he's been out injured as well.
Yeah.
And I think, he was good. And I think Moda's very good as well. And I think we do have the players in our squad to make up for it, even though Basuma is still very much our best player, and we do
started off really well, man.
I think we can cope without, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man, he started off real well, man. I wanted him at Arsenal, and he's a quality player. So it'll be, when you lose a quality player, especially in midfield as well, man, it's quite hard to replace that, especially like being teams such like Brighton and stuff. Like, you can't just go out and just go and buy that type of quality with ease. So we just see how it goes, man, for you guys.
And Douglas, what's your thoughts on Potter? Because there was talk that he was linked to Spurs and he rejected Spurs because he's waiting for a bigger club. You got Pep, who will leave Man City at some point. Klopp won't stay at Liverpool forever. Would you be happy with Potter if he came in next?
I think Graham Potter's a great manager. I think he kind of announced himself when Ostersund's won against Arsenal in the Europa League. Sorry to bring that up, but I felt then that Graham Potter was a very, very good manager, and he went to Swansea, bid his time at Swansea. I thought he did a very good job at Swansea. Chris Hughton gets sacked, and then you bring in Graham Potter, and I think it's been a masterstroke. I think Brighton have been absolutely fantastic, and you look at the way that he's actually getting players gelling. I think Brighton are better defensively this season than they have been any other season, and that is saying something with Graham Potter. So I really do think he is the next best thing. I think if Gareth Southgate gets moved on as England manager, I think you might see Graham Potter get mentioned as the next England manager.
Oh, that's a good shout. I never thought of it from that angle.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, but that is a good shout, and he would be a much better manager, in my opinion, than Southgate, because he'd actually play free flow and attacking football, and like we were saying, he can coach players. I never saw that with Southgate. Southgate was never. Southgate was managing Middlesbrough, and he was never great there anyway. I don't really understand how he got the job, to be honest, but that's not what we're here for today, so that's cool. But Seb, what's your thoughts on Potter?
Yeah, man, Potter's a good manager. I think you've been speaking about him since last season, and when you watch Brighton play, like they played Arsenal off the park the other day, and even in that City game yesterday, they gave it a real good go, and they probably even in the first half, I think they was trying to. I think sometimes you got to change tactics against bigger opposition, but they just continued to play their game, and I think they came unstuck in the first half. But in the second half, they gave it a real good go, and you can just see the football that they play, and if I was to just even bring this back to United, you just see the difference in the football that both teams are playing, and you just clearly see that one manager or is a coach and knows how to coach his players, knows how to give out instructions for those players to carry out instructions on the field. And I think he's a top manager. I wouldn't take him at United purely on the basis that I think Man United needs somebody elite and somebody who's a winner, But I think Graham Potter could definitely do well in managing. And no disrespect to yourself, Chloe, but he could do well in managing a bigger club than Brighton. And like what my man said over there, the England job, I don't think would be too far for him. If someone like Gareth Southgate is there, I think someone like Graham Potter would do a better job just purely on the fact that he can get his teams playing a good brand of.
Chloe, how long has he got left on his contract? I know he signed a 5-year deal a couple of years ago. Is that still what's
yeah, it was a 6-year deal, but I think it was
6 years. Sorry, 6.
I think he's got 4 years left on that.
That was a brilliant bit of business by Brighton. They saw how good he was and they locked him in. So even if a big club does come in, you've got a massive compensation packet there that you've got to take. So that was really smart by you guys. I mean, you said stuff that we haven't seen. You said you're not really sure of his not tactics, but his substitutions and sometimes the players that he picks. Is there any other gripes you would have with him as you see him week in and week out?
It's more sometimes he surprises me with his tactics than I sort of doubt them. He's just obviously knows what he's doing way better than I do. But no, I mean, I think he's a pretty solid manager. There's not really any areas I can think of, except for one thing that did annoy me was his apologising about celebrating that goal that we scored against City last season. He over-celebrated and upset poor Pep, and he just kept apologising, and it's like,
I think it was a bit tongue in cheek, I don't think he really meant the apology. It was just the fact that, you've scored against City, you've done the business or whatever. Why can't you celebrate? So I think it was more tongue in cheek than anything.
Yeah. But I think he's top manager.
Yeah, no, I do as well. I really do. And you guys will do very well to hold on to him for the next. I don't think anyone will come in for him this year, but possibly next year, maybe. You're gonna have a big. You're going to have a flock of clubs looking at him, especially if their clubs underperform. And he continues to get you guys. If you finish in the top 6 or even top 8, then you're going to have a lot of clubs sniffing around him.
But then I feel like we finished.
I think Spurs get him.
But then I feel if we finished top 6 and we got into Europe, say, would he necessarily want to leave? Or would he like to see that through with us at least?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good one as well.
Also, money talks though as well. And if it's a bigger club, bigger package, better players that he can manage, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Newcastle going for him.
I don't think he would go there, to be fair. I know obviously they got money coming in, but that would be a massive downgrade for him.
Why wouldn't he? I
think he's in the championship next season for a start.
I don't think it's a downgrade, but at the moment, to go into that Newcastle job, it is a tricky situation. Like someone really has to go in there and be able to hit the ground running. Obviously Mourinho's at Roma, but that type of Mourinho guy that when he gets his players, he can make something happen straight away, and also doesn't fall by the pressure of what's going on around him. So you need to kind of be a big character at the moment. But for Graham Potter, I think he should bide his time. If it is at Brighton, stay there. If he does get in Europe with them, maybe stay there one more season to gain that experience, because the next team that he goes to, you want a springboard. And I think he would, in about a year's time, maybe 2 years, he'll be ready for a top club. But right now, why not stay with your Brightons? Why not push? They're playing really good football at the moment. And sometimes for managers, it's not just a case of just trying to fly before you can walk and all of that. You know what I mean? So just, he's at a good club. The system, it works for him. The board are backing him. There's no rumblings. You know what I mean? He knows what he has to do there. The project for him, he knows what it's all about. So bide your time, man.
The reason why I said it's a downgrade is because Graham Potter's stock is high at the moment. and taking a job like Newcastle where they're struggling. If we're being real, they're struggling. They could get relegated. They are that bad. And the quality of play,
I thought you were talking about obviously the manager. Oh, okay, so because obviously Bruce has been
yeah, do you
obviously
get what I
sacked
mean?
and stuff.
Like,
Yeah. Not now.
He should never go to Newcastle.
No,
like,
not now.
Bigger teams that will be coming in for him. So yes, they got money, but other than that, it's a bad move for me for him right now where he is. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. But let's go to the next point, and I think this is a bit tongue in cheek, but is there a point of Norwich? Apologies, of Norwich being in the Premier League?
I'm sorry. We can laugh and cry about this, but unfortunately, it's getting to a stage now where you're like, why do they keep getting promoted? And then is there just like a yo-yo club? They go up and then go back down. I think they've only survived one season in I think if I remember rightly, it was when Mourinho was sacked. I think it was the 14-15 season, and they actually survived that season and then went straight back down the following season. I mean, Daniel Farke yesterday got his tactics completely wrong yesterday, and you have to actually wonder: is he actually under threat at Norwich? Because for me, I think his job is as secure as you can get. Because I think he's got a very good relationship with the Norwich board. Maybe if you keep getting spanked like that 7-0, then maybe not. But I honestly think there's other teams down in the Championship that would probably do a lot better than Norwich. Say, look at Brentford, for example. Look at how they've taken to the Premier League like a duck to water. They've been absolutely magnificent. So, no, this is my honest answer.
And imagine Norwich. He's had experience in the Premier League, so there's no excuses for him, man. He's been in the Premier League. You would have thought that obviously coming back up, he's be like, okay, we tried to play that expansive football last time. It worked well, maybe in the first quarter, and now coming back up, we can't, be just showing our arse cheeks to the rest of the teams in the Premier League like this. It gets to that point where now when you're hearing pundits talking about cutting the Premier League down to a certain number of teams, it's like these are the teams that you're looking at. You think to yourself, why do you keep coming up to go back down? You know what I mean? Like, and for me personally, I always say this about the ambitions of a board. If that board were really ambitious, they would be like, we've given you this chance. You brought us back up, but at this moment, we can't go back down again. We need to be able to survive. Go and get another manager. Try, because if you go down, you go down. But if you actually can try and bring someone in to keep you, there's no shame, the Burnleys, your Crystal Palaces, they've all gone for those type of managers that can keep them in the Premier League to survive. Sometimes you just got to bide your time, survive, stay in the Premier League 2-3 years, and then start working your way. You know what I mean? Brighton, no disrespect to you guys. Obviously, you got relegated and you came back up, and but in terms of like sacking your manager, you got rid of Houghton and you brought in Potter. You are showing the ambition that you want to change. You can't come back with Norwich with the same manager that got you relegated, that brings you back into the Premier League, and then it looks like you're going to be relegated again. So it's just a crazy thing, man.
It starts from the top, though, in my opinion. It starts from like that board, like their mindset is, okay, we made it, we're going to get a bit of money from the Premier League, but we won't spend because we anticipate we're going to be back in the Championship. And they're completely happy with that. They'd rather be sort of...
let's be having you!
Yeah. It's like you're rubbing. It's like you're cheating.
Yeah, the fans.
To be fair, they're very lucky to have 2 points, right? They should have lost to Brighton because... Mopé is fouled by Krul. That should be a penalty, and I think Brighton probably go on and win that. And if I'm being honest, they were lucky against Burnley as well. So, I actually think they are on course to beat Derby's 11 points.
Yeah,
I really do.
Place, man. And that's why I said, is there a point? Because obviously we want all sorts of teams in the Premier League. We want it to be an open league where teams come up on merit. But the way they're playing and the way they always come up and go back down, you're looking at it like, just give someone else a chance now. You guys are stinking up the place. They're awful. And they've got players in there that have been in the Max Aarons is meant to be high. I never really liked him. He was linked to Tottenham for a while.
I think he's decent. I think he's good.
I don't personally. I said it back then, and I'm seeing seeing the same stuff again this year. But they've got players in that team that should be doing better. And obviously their manager has experience in the Prem. I don't really understand. They're just not playing with any conviction or there's no direction.
Well, losing Buendia was obviously it's a massive loss for them. It was
huge
absolutely
loss,
huge.
That's huge. That's
Sorry,
like
Chloe,
a
go on.
Grealish type loss.
But then I think coming up and selling your best player immediately kind of shows that you don't really have the ambition it takes to.
Nah, when Buendia is always rumblings that he was going to leave. So for me, it's more of a case where it's that there was no contingency plan. Like you're not coming into the Premier League being like, all right, cool, we're going to lose Buendia, but what are we going to do next? They're still trying to play in that type of way, in that type of manner, and it's just not working for them.
Would you say that Norwich's transfer business this summer wasn't good? I mean, you look at they bought Milo Rashica from Werder Bremen. Yes, okay, he was a very good player in the Werder Bremen setup, but this is the kind of player that when you're being linked with him and you manage to get him, he's not Premier League experience. Same with Josh Sargent. I mean, if Josh Sargent actually hit a bloody shot as powerful as he did for Lewis Dunk or Shane Duffy to come back, I mean, that's the tamest shot I've ever seen. Like, it was just trickling, and all my main defender was always gonna get that. Kabak, I remember loads of Liverpool fans saying, "Oh yeah, we have to send Kabak. Look at what's happened. He's playing in a poor team and he's getting found out.
Yeah, he's worse than average. He's
terrible.
I was surprised when he went to Liverpool. I know it was a loan with no obligation, so it kind of was smart considering. But yeah, Liverpool could have done a lot better than Kabak. And you're seeing him. He's found wanting week in and week out.
But he looks like a keeper playing out in defence.
Yeah, he's
terrible.
It's a strange one, and we're seeing good comments. So Penny Lawless, thank you for the comment here. It's basically and we also got a comment from Richie Rich about the balloon payments. It just gives the teams that go down that extra buffer compared to the Championship team. So you kind of see the same teams yo-yoing and going up and down, but it's not really fair. I'd rather someone else come up next year who can actually, I mean, of course,
give it a go.
But give it a go. That's it. Have an idea, have an identity. Like Brentford, they're coming up and they're playing, and they might go down, but at least they're playing with some sort of spirit, some sort of identity. They're actually trying to stay in the Premier League and do something.
Pat, I liken Norwich to West Brom, man. I liken them to West Brom because they're very yo-yo. But in my comment that I made in regards to at least West Brom try to go and switch up the manager, there was just like, you know what? Let's just try, because it's about survival, man. Like, we've got to understand like the gulf in class, talent, and teams and clubs in the Premier League. So there's no shame in trying to go down that route of survival, being in the Premier League for a few years, being quite established, and then maybe you might be able to draw those obscured players that come and then make your team great. But it's just the fact that they're sticking with this manager and it's not working, man. It's not working. It's mad. It's mad. But it comes down to the board, innit?
As I said to you, I just think Farke's job is as secure as you can get. I don't think there's any trouble, any point of him being sacked. I don't think he will be sacked, and I think he'll probably last the season at Norwich.
And then to no rumblings, no
go
rumors,
down,
nothing.
To then go down and then bring them back up, or to go like this is what I'm saying. It's just going to be the same manager is literally just yo-yoing your club, and the board are allowing this.
Can I ask you a real question? Do you think Norwich will get at least 15 goals this season?
Score! Wow!
15
goals.
Wow!
Yeah.
He's only got what, 2? Pukki has only got 2, and he's the only one that scored. At
some point, you would hope it would click, and they will go on some sort of run. I mean, look at not last year, the year before last, when Pukki went on his run and he scored quite a few goals. Someone somewhere has got to start scoring. So possibly, but what we're seeing right now, there's no evidence of that at all. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. It's, as you said, it's a stinker. Teams like this shouldn't be in the Premier League, personally. Obviously, no disrespect to any Norwich fans. Obviously, you support your team, but you don't need to be making more noise about this manager, man. Get him out, get someone new, and try and be ambitious, man. Go for it, man. Hail Mary, something. Like, you want to do something, innit?
This is where the Brentford comparison comes back out. Look at how they've done. They are not going to go down this season. For me, I think they're going to stay up. I think they've got a very, very good squad, and I think they will definitely stay up. My only worry is if someone comes in for Ivan Toney, then I would worry about them. But Brentford are actually very good at like getting players sold and then getting extreme amounts of money. Look at Brighton for good. Brighton came into the Premier League, played really, really well, survived comfortably. When it was going wrong, they got rid of Chris Hughton. I think it was a 5-0 defeat to Bournemouth. I think that was his last game in charge. Saw it wasn't happening. Changed the manager. Got Graham Potter. Look how well that's done. So maybe Norwich need a change of manager. Maybe it might be a good thing for Farke to go. But I just don't see the Norwich board getting rid of Farke.
What about Watford? Watford are at least fighting and
Watford. I mean, they got rid of their manager, brought in Ranieri. We were all a bit shocked, but we saw them bounce back yesterday.
You gotta go for it, mate. You gotta go for it, man. I'm telling you, like teams down there that are not staple teams in the Premier League, you've got to go for it because it's a difference. You got that, you go down. It's just like, man, we should have given it a go. You know what I'm saying? But I think in Norwich situation is like he's been here before. Let's not sugarcoat. He's been here before, and you're doing worse than you did the last time. You'd think to yourself, you know what? On this occasion, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna do this. Maybe even go a bit cheap. You know what I mean? Like defend a bit better. But
he's got to go defensive. I mean, when you talk about West Brom and even your Watford, your Brightons, they will get pragmatic managers. Where you think, okay, let's at least get that clean sheet, and if we can nick a goal, look at Burnley. But it's worked for Burnley for years.
Works for Burnley for years.
He's trying to play a Pep or Klopp way with average players. It's just suicide. It's just suicide.
It's a sticky one. I mean, I hope for all of our sakes that Norwich actually give it a go. You know, they've got some good young players in that team. You know, Max Aarons.
Where's Todd Cantwell? Where's Todd Cantwell?
He's in. I think he's injured though.
He's very injured.
Yeah,
good player, but he's always injured, man. That's the only problem with him. But let's segue on to the next one, which is obviously there was a big London derby today. That was Tottenham versus West Ham. And West Ham won 1-0, as we all know. So I'm going to ask the question: are West Ham now the second best team in London? They finished in the top 6 last year. This year 100%. They're looking quite good again. You've got Chelsea, obviously unanimously out in front. Would you put West Ham above your Arsenals and your Tottenhams right now?
100%.
Yeah, I would as well.
100%. Like easy. There's no second thought. 100%.
I was actually surprised that they're actually doing better than many people expected them to, especially with like Europa League. People would have thought, okay, the Thursday to Sunday football, that might have, affected them. But actually, if you look at it, they're actually playing a lot better than many people would think. Yeah. I've been very impressed with West Ham. I think the recruitment's been very, very good. They don't sign many players, but you look at Ben Rama, you look at Antonio, Fornal, Souček, Soufal. They've done some very good business there, and West Ham are a very, very dangerous side. I think we got them in a couple of weeks actually after obviously Chloe's Brighton on Saturday, which will be a very interesting game, and we have to get revenge because they beat us at Anfield last season. So, but West Ham for me are just fantastic, and long may it continue because I think to have them as a usual top 6 side would be fantastic.
Why would credit to Moyes, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Again.
Sorry, Douglas.
That's management.
Why would it be fantastic? What's your thoughts on why West Ham being in there is a good thing?
It just makes a change. It just makes a complete change. You look at Arsenal at the moment. I think Arsenal have been okay this season. I mean, a good win at the weekend against Aston Villa, but I think Arsenal are doing well without Europe, but they're not actually building on from. Like you look at the winning run that they got. They then went and got a 2-2 with Crystal Palace, and then obviously they beat which was a very, very poor Aston Villa side. Look, Tottenham will bounce back eventually. My only problem with Tottenham is you did not get rid of Harry Kane, and you probably should have. But that's just being said, and the thing is, you're struggling in the Conference League as well.
Yeah, the second string of players is not good enough. Nuno tried to be. To be fair, I was happy with what Nuno did. I didn't want any of the big boys traveling, and I said it on the Coys.com podcast last Monday. Said I didn't want none of the big boys traveling. Leave them at home. He did that. The game was a weird one today because we were quite comfortable in that game. I don't think West Ham were good, to be honest. They didn't really create anything. I don't really remember Lloris making any like qualities. I mean, he made a save or two. We were quite comfortable in the first half after the first couple of minutes. Second half, again, we were quite comfortable. But the difference is that we didn't have any cutting edge. And when West Ham did,
battered you guys, man.
Well, yeah, he
the brutes.
I wouldn't say back, guys. He barged Romero off the ball twice, but on the whole, he was. I wouldn't say Antonio battered.
He did a backstroke celebration. I'm hearing.
Yeah, the difference is, Antonio, that finish was
the difference.
Top finish, and it come out of nowhere. Like, I mean, to put your leg out and to get onto and obviously Cresswell, he was putting in some nice balls, but West Ham deserved it. I've got no gripes on that. I just obviously, as a Spurs fan, I hate Nuno. I've never liked him, never wanted him, and today's performance shows you exactly why my stance was where it was with Nuno. He's just not good enough, man. And the game was was getting away from us. He made his first change in like the 79th minute. How can you not make a change before that? You could see what was going on. He never reacts to the game. His in-game tactical management is zero. And he's just, he just doesn't understand. I just don't think he's a good manager. I don't understand how he got the job. And it's disappointing because even though Tottenham aren't that great at the moment, he should be doing better with that set of players.
He got the job because no one else wanted the job.
It's not. Come on. Do you really think a team like Tottenham with those players can't attract a better manager? Do you really think that if they?
But you ended up with Nuno. Yeah,
there was lots of managers.
I don't believe that every single manager we are linked to, we actually try to go out and get. I don't believe that personally, but I do think that it's poor. They could have done better than Nuno. Let's not kid ourselves.
But who could you really?
We could have got Ten Hag. If we would have paid the money, Ten Hag was up for coming. What happened is there was a lot of good managers that were up for coming, but because we started messing about and flirting with Conte and flirting with Poch, then these managers are, oh, okay, you're not really that interested in us. So they obviously stayed where they were staying. If Tottenham would have had a clear direction and went after a manager, they would have had a better manager. There's no doubt about it.
But you say that but obviously clearly they had the project that's lined up for a specific type of person in it. So if you're saying that they needed to pay money, maybe they don't want to put in that money in that. So they've gone in. But
the project that they had, they said they wanted a Poch type of manager, didn't they? They said they wanted someone in the Pochettino mold that will come in, coach the players, plays on the front foot, likes to press, exciting football, the Tottenham way, all of this nonsense, blah blah blah. But the manager they went for, Nuno, is nothing of that ilk. Nuno
I know, but what
fit the criteria? But they had managers that did fit the criteria that they should have went for, but they started messing about with Conte and Poch. They should have just narrowed in on the manager and went for him. And
but so my point I was making, obviously, is all tongue in cheek in terms of manager. We don't know what the negotiations are behind closed doors. So what I'm saying is just like your board obviously clearly had an outline of what manager they wanted. Those managers obviously come at a premium price, so on and so on, and the money you're probably going to have to give the manager. And if it doesn't work out, this is what you've ended up with. You know what I mean? So once again, it's just down to the ambition of the board. Realistically, if you want to go and get this, Poch style of football again, or that type of manager, go and invest in it. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. I mean, what you're saying is bang on. Like, I have no issue with that, but it's obviously Daniel Levy at the helm. That's where the problem lies. So, it's a problem. It's a problem. But
just a quick one. How long do you think that he will have in this season? What's realistic for him?
Nuno will stay the season. I can't really see, unless things go really bad. I can't see us getting rid of him. I think they're going to try and be solid, let him have the course of the season, see where he does.
He's got 2 years, right? Only 2 year contract.
2 year contract. I mean, we're sixth at the moment, even though we've not really done anything of note. We're still 6th. We're only a couple of points behind the other guy. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City, forget it. We know we're not going to get nowhere near that. But 4th spot is up for grabs. I mean, your Brightons, your Leicesters, your Tottenhams, your Arsenals. Anyone can get in there if they start putting a run together. West Ham, of course, as well. We're talking about them. Because Man United right now, no one knows. I thought Man United were shooting for the top 4, especially when they got the players in. I didn't think they would challenge, but I thought they would get into the top 4. But we can see that they're miles off it as well. So, you know, top 4, and there's still obviously 2 places left for top 6. So that is still up for grabs, and Tottenham is still there right now. Obviously, even Arsenal are kind of near there. So I don't think it gets sacked right now. But these performances they're mediocre, innit? They're not good enough, really. We should be seeing more. So yeah, I don't see him getting sacked anytime soon unless things get really bad. You know, it's another London derby loss, which is obviously a bit of a concern, but it is what it is, really. But yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing, but credit to West Ham. They're doing what they need to do. I do like I hate saying it, but I do actually like the West Ham setup. I do like the way they play.
I was going to say that. I think for David Moyes, obviously, to give him his kudos and his praise, he's had a solid team that he's been able to work with. And obviously, he hasn't made major changes. And he's built that team. So he knows, it's almost kind of like that Klopp kind of situation. He knows who is good enough for the team, who he needs to bring in. He's not going to be just on a knee jerk, like, oh, I just need to bring in a player. I like the way he dealt with Ben Rama. You know what I mean? He humbled him very quickly. Definitely. Like, yo, I see your talent, but when you come here, you have to do it my way. You got to put in the work, and he's getting a fine tune out of him. And
Antonio, it's like a world beater,
bro.
He's a world beater.
He's been that guy, like, when, you know, once in a while when you need to get him up top and stuff. Like, we've seen the quality, but now he actually believes that he can do this. And the fact that he beat Di Canio's goal record and stuff like that is like, it's no mean feat, because no one else has come to West Ham and done that.
This is why people get onto Arsenal fans with comments like this. We're talking about the Premier League, and we're talking about obviously what West Ham have done this year and what they did. Last year, what they did. And the Arsenal fans saying Arsenal FA Cup have a better history. You know that. But where are Arsenal right now, and where are West Ham?
Yeah,
where did West Ham finish last year? Where did Arsenal finish? You can't keep talking about FA Cups in history. We're talking about right now. So
even me as an Arsenal fan, I would say, in that context of in that context of question, you know, we have to give West Ham their kudos and say, look, man, they're doing their thing. It's no accident, man. The table don't lie. You play your games, and the thing about it, they're actually playing good football. It's not like, oh, they're just turning up and they're just you know,
and they're doing against the big sides as well. Like, there's none of us can say Liverpool, Tottenham, whoever, Arsenal. When you play West Ham, you're thinking this is going to be a game. This is a
tough game. Yeah.
You're looking at the fixture, West Ham, Tottenham, and you're like, oh, West Ham can actually win this game. It's not like back in the days where you're looking at West Ham and you're thinking, going to go into the weekend, we'll just bang them up. You know what I mean? So
I had the feeling they were going to beat Spurs. I just thought like they're just a better side than Spurs.
No, you know what? I thought we was going to win today, you know, to be honest. And to be fair, like, I mean, obviously we lost the game, and I admit it, we weren't that good, but I don't think West Ham were that good either, if I'm being honest. I thought it was going to be a 0-0
draw. It was a fair game. Yeah, I thought it was quite even.
If it wasn't for flipping, Reguilon doing that stupid move where he tried to push the ball past it and then fouling and giving away that free kick, I didn't see West Ham scoring, but they did. Fair enough. They won.
Has Kane gone back into his hole again, or is he back?
I thought he was all right. He had a good chance where he could have scored. Where he
looks lost though, Pat. On the real, like, he looks completely lost. Like, what are you doing in midfield?
I thought he was all right, man. I think people are just over.
We're talking about Kane, the world class Kane. We're saying he's all right.
Come on, man.
What do you mean? Does every player turn up in every game? No,
terrible. You can't be world class.
From the beginning of the season. From the beginning of the season to now, he's not been great.
I agree, but today he wasn't terrible. If you're watching the game in isolation, he wasn't that bad.
He was dropping in deep. There was
deep. The game he was up top. He was up top most of the game. He only started dropping.
But he was coming in that midfield as well.
I almost thought he was Kante today.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Not Kane.
You lot are capping now because he was pretty much on the line at the top thing because they were putting crosses for him and trying to find him.
Harry Kante.
I do wonder if Nuno gets him to do that, or is Kane just doing his own thing?
No, I think Kane does his own thing. He's of the intelligence to know when and what he should be doing. I don't think any manager is going to tell him not what to do, what not to do. They might say, "Oh, Kane, by the way, can you stay up top?" But Kane is Kane. He's not gonna, if he's been doing it his whole whatever last year, the year before, and he's been doing bits, they're not really going to tell him to stop.
That's not always the answer, though. You know what I mean? If the manager has a way and a style that he needs to play, you would have to adhere to that. So it's not just a case just because he has the intelligence for it. You know what I mean? Ronaldo has the intelligence to do things, but you would have to adhere to like the tactics and stuff like that. So sometimes I feel personally it's a bit detrimental to the team when he's always dropping in deep and stuff like that. You've got to get him up there, man. He's a goal scorer. We know what he can do. Yeah,
Spurs right now.
Like I understand he's a great passer of the ball. He can do all the things like that. But look, go up there and do what you're meant to do. Like, at the end of the day, you guys need goals. You know what I mean? You need him to get in a running of goals. So if me as a manager, I'll be like, look, Kane, stay up there. Don't drop deep. Get the goals that you need. Build up your confidence.
He was really dropping that deep today. I don't really.
Not just today. Just obviously now is you know what I mean. I personally, honestly, I feel like if he gets in a run of goals, he'll be back to form. But whatever it is that he has on his mind right now, we're all human beings, innit? Whether he's still looking and thinking, man, I should have been over there at City. Grealish is there. He was telling me that, we're going to share lockers and all that kind of stuff. We're going to be teammates. And that,
when you said share, and obviously with Grealish and his reputation.
You know what I mean? In the English squad, they were talking, we're going to go, man, you're going to be sitting at the dinner table with me and all of that kind of stuff. And now my man's just there at Spurs on the Tottenham High Road. With all, with all the gangbangers.
He's still got Chick King. He's good. He's still got Chick King. He's all right.
My man's eating Chick King. He's got to be upset.
But you know what, Pete? We're going to have to wrap it up now because unfortunately we've hit that time. The thing is, we could go on forever. Like, I was just enjoying and just getting warmed up. But
Pat, last thing, quick before you go. Shout out Arsenal, man. We did our thing this weekend. Had an early game on Friday. You know what I mean? Just watching everyone.
Just
love it.
In the top 10.
Arteta.
It's not a talking point for this week.
Brighton and Arsenal could talk to each other in mid-table teams.
Nah, Brighton and fifth, bro. What are you talking about?
We keep moving, boys.
Only for now.
FYI.
Man.
Appreciate it,
give Brighton their credit, man. They're doing bits. Like, you can't compare Arsenal and Brighton. If I was a player and Brighton and Arsenal coming in for me, I'm going Brighton right now. So
you never play football in your lifetime, so you won't know.
Let me stop talking rubbish and let me let the host or the guests say their piece. So thank you everyone for coming on today. It's been a pleasure. Obviously, we can't do it without you guys, so I'm gonna let you all say your bits and bobs and sign out. So we'll go to you first, Douglas. Where can we find you and what are you up to these days?
Well, thank you very, very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hope to come back on at some point in the future. My YouTube channel is the Doug Football Channel, so come and check me out there. You can find me on Twitter, @Nod_1992, as you can see on there. I'm on Instagram as well, Douglas Horn. I'm also on Facebook as well, Douglas James Horn. But thank you very much for having me. As far as things coming up this week, Brighton preview. That'll be probably Wednesday evening. Chloe, I might get in touch with you actually if you're up for it. I might actually get you on for a preview. Just turn bell notifications on and let's let the work do the business. I'd say
definitely, and we're going to add you to obviously our link so everyone can follow you, and we'll put you out on the tweet as well. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, and we'll definitely get you on again. Chloe, what are you saying? Where can we find you and what are you up to?
I'm British Tea Hater on Twitter and Instagram. That's about it. Thanks for having me. It's been very fun.
It's a pleasure. Honestly, it's great. And to get we've never had a Brighton fan on before. We're always quite, we've had the Arsenals, the Tottenhams, the Liverpools, the Chelseas, Leicester. So to get a Brighton fan on and an authentic one that goes to games, knows their stuff, it's brilliant. So thank you. And we'll no doubt get you on a couple more times throughout the season.
Awesome.
Dash, forget you for now, but What's good, my guy?
You can find me on Instagram or Facebook. It's in the link below. That's it. You ever need my help on anything, just shout me. When it comes to properties, think of me.
Yes, sir. No, thank you once again. Brilliant. Thank you for coming. I mean, today was easy for you to come on. You smashed, Man United. So that, of course, you're going to come on smiling and full of beans. So no, great to have you on again, Si. And last but not least, the Cheeky Dash. What you saying,
Come
bro?
on, my bro. Always as per usual, man. I appreciate coming on to the show. Vibes as per usual. And like I said, man, it's been a great weekend of football. We've all had the opportunity to enjoy it. Like I said, man, my name's Dashiki Dash. I got my YouTube channel, A Dash of Sports. Go and check it out. Like and subscribe and all of that. I do 2 shows. So I do like a Premier League show. Just chat all things Premier League results. I've been getting people on now as well. So that interaction is really good, working with other people. And then just the main show itself, man, A Dash of Sports. That's where I talk about all things that sports related, hot topics and trending stories, and just bringing the kind of jokey side and bubbly side and vibes to all sports stories and stuff like that, man. So go and check it out, man. Like and subscribe. And yeah, man, without you guys, we can't do this. So
That's
yeah, man,
it.
bless.
And obviously, I'm your host today. I'm not really a host. Like I said, when it comes to punditry, I think I'm at the top. When it comes to hosting,
Jeez.
I'm there or thereabouts, but I'll get by. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. My name's Patrick Tyrant. You can catch me on Views, obviously, every week. I'm also on the Coys.com channel. Being invited to the TFT Big Six show as well. So I'm on there every Monday and Thursday now, and I'm here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, it's really nice actually, because from Views I've been invited and been asked to jump on so many different podcasts, and it's been nice to interact and mingle. And through this, I've met so many great fans, like obviously Chloe and Douglas today, and people that I would have never met if it wasn't for this virtual social kind of world that we're in now. So it's great. We love the fact that we're now all content creators. Love the fact that people tune in to watch us talk and leave comments and interact with us. It's brilliant, man. So long may it continue. And let's sign out. It's been great today. We'll put all the content will be out on Tuesday. This will be out literally now. It's good to go. And this was episode 84. Everyone's a Pundit. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to our guests, because without you guys, there is no show. And as the title says, everyone's a pundit. These were our pundits. We're signing out. Peace.
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 All right.